Guys, welcome again to Top Educational Consult. Just like I promised you in my last video that I'll make videos on most repeated topics for some subjects in JAMB. I'll start with JAMB Biology. Let's begin. We have 5 sections in JAMB Biology and over 23 topics which they are grouped under these 5 sections. So I will try and pick them, the most repeated ones. The first one is living organisms. On living organisms, you'll be asked on cells and the organelles. You have to know each of the organelles and their functions. Then you can be asked on the level of organization too, from cell to organisms, and examples of organisms that can be found under them and their definition of each level. Then second topic is classification of living organisms or living things. You can be asked to classify living things based on kingdoms, based on phylum, classes, and division. Based on division kingdoms, we have 5 kingdoms, sorry. And the scientists that brought about this naming of kingdom and the person that brought about idea of animal diversity, you have to know the name. Then the kingdom, the plant kingdom, the protista kingdom, which is protozoa and protophyta, you have to know which one is animal like, that's protozoa, which one is plant like, that's protophyta, and the examples. From the monera, which is the smallest, to what? Animal, which is the most advanced. You have to know about their classifications. Then on nutrition, which is the third topic, you have to know about autotrophic mode of nutrition. You have to know about heterotrophic types of autotrophic, photosynthesis and chemosynthesis, and organisms that can be found around them. Then you have to know about heterotrophic and holophytic and the examples, which is commensalism, parasitism, and others, and the organisms that can exhibit them. The mode of feeding, which is fetal feeding, piercing and sucking, and some organisms that can be found that exhibit each of these modes of feeding. Then on photosynthesis, the types, the product, factors, and experiment. That is, under experiment, what experiment can you use to test presence of oxygen, presence of CO2, presence of sunlight, and all of that. Then on animal nutrition, you have to talk about the classes of food, what is adequate diet, then end product of each classes of food. Then on food test, how do you test protein, how do you test carbohydrates, reducing sugar, non-reducing sugar, and their color changes. Then on the fourth topic, which is transport system, you have to talk about this volume to surface area ratio. You have to know about it. Then you have to know about transport in plant and transport in animal. On transport in plant, the transport medium SAP, and the transport medium for animal, what blood and lymph. You have to know about heart, chambers of heart, valves of the heart, then how blood moves through the heart, pulmonary circulation, systemic circulation, and all of that. Then you have to know about transpiration and translocation and rotation too. Then you have to know about the medium in plant too. Then another topic is respiration. Respiration, you have to know the types we have. We have aerobic and anaerobic respiration. We have internal respiration and external respiration too. And some respiratory organs in organisms, respiratory organ in insects, respiratory organ in earthworm, and all of that. Then the next topic is excretory system. On excretory system, you have to know excretory products, excretory organs, then the sources. And there is a question they love to ask on excretion, like which of the following is not an excretory product? Then they will put feces. Feces is not an excretory product. Why is it? Go and read about it. Then another topic is growth in plants, growth in animal. You have to know about some hormones that can be utilized in plants. You have cytokinin, auxin, gibberellin, and their functions. Know about that. Then responses to tacticism, narcissism, and trophism. You have to know about each of these responses. Then on plants, you have to know about the growth in plant too. How does plant grow? How does animal grow rather? So you have to know about that. Now, another topic is supporting system. Supporting system in plant, supporting system in animal, supporting system in plant, that is the tissues in plant. You have to know about the tissues. You have primary tissues and vascular tissues, the function of xylem, parenchyma, parenchyma, their functions, what is function of phloem, and the parts of each of these tissues. Then you have to know about the animal too, types, connective, epithelia. The example of connective is blood, bone, and etc. Then you have to know about the skeleton too, types of skeleton, functions, form, then examples, what is joint, types of joint and examples, then bones of this the vertebral column and their examples and their shapes. You have to know that. The next topic is digestive system. On digestive system, you have to talk about digestion, where is some food classes are digested. Digestion of starch in the mouth, of the protein in the stomach, fat and oil in the small intestine, and all of that. And part of small intestine too. You have to know that, and you have to know about the enzymes too. You have to know about it. And another topic is reproductive system. On reproductive system, you have to know about the types. On our sexual reproduction, know the types, the budding, spore formation, and all these things that are exhibit of all these types. On the sexual part, for the male reproductive system, know the parts and their functions. Female, know the parts and their functions. Where does fertilization takes place? You know that. You have to know that. Then, where does embedment takes place? You have to know that. The other topic is sensory organs and nervous system. On sensory organs, know the types of sensory organs. The eye, you have to know the part of the eye and their functions. You know the ear, the part of the ear and their functions. The three ear ossicles, malleus incustus. Then the inner part, prairie leaf, endoleaf, semicircular canal. What is the function? We have to know that. Then the part of the brain too. You know, CNS, PNS. Then part of the brain, forebrain, the part found there, cerebellum, what is the function? Then the mid one, what's the function? The cerebellum at the int part, what is the function? And the medulla oblongata and some other parts, their functions, you have to know that. Then another topic is ecology. Try to know some ecological terms like niche, habitat, population, and all of that. Then biological association, know about parasites, commensalism, symbiosis, and examples of organisms that exhibit that. Then population control, family planning, all of that. Then know about conservation too. Another topic is variation. Know the types of variation, morphological or continuous, discontinuous or physiological. Know their descriptions. Know their examples. Examples of morphological growth, height, weight, fingerprint. Examples of fingerprint too. Know that. Then on physiological, know about blood grouping, ability to roll tongue. Then types of blood grouping, you have to know about the types, blood group A, B, and O. Another name for AB, universal recipient. Another name for O, universal donor. And why they are called that. Know about resource factor to read about that. Then another one is adaptation. Types of adaptation, structural, physiological, and behavioral. Know examples of each of them. Know about social insects to be termite, their classes, king, queen, soldier, all of that. Know about that. Then know about hibernation and activation too, and some adaptive colorations. Know about those things too. Then another topic is genetics and heredity. On the genetics, know about some terms on genetics like allele, chromosome, gene, all those heredity, those basic definitions. Know about them. Then how to cross, monohybrid crossing, the hybrid crossing, and the product. Know their phenotypic ratio, know their genotypic ratio, then the types of crossbreeding, outbreeding, inbreeding, and all of that. Then you have to know about another, which is another topic. Okay, on genetics and heredity too. Know about Mendel's law of independent assortment, law of segregation. Know about those laws. Then the last topic is evolution. Know what evolution is. Then know the scientists that contribute to evolution, the various and some other ones. Then know the factors that brought about evolution, factors like comparative anatomy, physiology, and some other factors. So I believe I've been able to run you through the 16 most repeated topics in Jamb biology. Please do well and read more on them. Use the syllabus to read and get the required. Go and look at the recommended textbooks and get the right textbooks. In this last week, you can still achieve a lot. So don't go, like the video, comment. I need your comment, please. Comment, then subscribe and share with your friends. See you in the next.